welcome to my channel. I am Blue Savvy, and today I have got a story for you guys. I'm gonna be just messing around with my makeup while I tell this story, so buckle up. We're about to get into it. Today's story is about, when was it? It was not even 2 weeks ago. I went down to Louisiana. My boyfriend's cousin was getting married down there, and so we were going down there to support them, and you know, we had a really great time. We really did. We had a great time down there. The first 3 days, we went down there on Black Friday. We drove down. That was about a 10-hour drive because it was from Oklahoma City down to Baton Rouge. Now, if you have been around the southern part of Louisiana, you should know just how terrible the roads are. Like, literally every road is completely falling apart in the southern part of Louisiana. It's so bad. It's all caving in on itself. Now, that's going to come into play later on in the story. So, we're driving down there. We started out on Black Friday morning. We got there at about 5:30 p.m. and the rehearsal dinner was immediately after. Like, as soon as we got there, we had to leave. We had to get ready and leave to go to the rehearsal dinner, and I was very tired because I drove the whole way. Don't worry, I wanted to drive the whole way. Tyler was like, hey, I could drive. Like, if you need me to, I'll drive. And I was like, nope, I want to drive the whole way because I've never driven that far before, and I really wanted to do it just to say that I did it. And, like, I was pretty alright. You know, it really wasn't that bad of a drive, especially having someone there with me. And, well, when we got there, I wore my contacts to drive instead of my glasses, so my eyes were just absolutely bloodshot, and I don't know, I was so tired, I just wanted to go to sleep immediately. But we went to the rehearsal dinner, and we went to this absolutely gorgeous little venue, restaurant, venue, event place. I don't even know what it was, but it was very gorgeous, and the food was unbelievably amazing. And after that, we went to the Airbnb that we were staying at, and I crashed for like 12 hours. And the next day I slept even longer because we had nothing to do between, you know, getting up and going to the wedding. Because the wedding was at 7 p.m. the next day. I slept within that, you know, like 24-hour period. I think I slept for like 15, 16 hours. But yeah, we all got ready. And one of the best parts of all of it was that Tyler's cousin and his groomsmen, he had a lot of groomsmen. We were all just like packed on this party bus going to the wedding, going to the place that they were going to get married at, and it was just so much fun because they were just playing, like, some of it was good music, some of it was just like goofy music, and everyone was dancing and partying and just having a really good time, and that was one of the best parts of the whole trip. Now, when we got to the wedding, of course, we had to wait a little while because everyone's getting ready. The bride, of course, getting pictures with her, what are they called, bridesmaids, and Tyler's cousin getting pictures with all the groomsmen, and everyone just getting all set up and ready. And the ceremony was just gorgeous, by the way. The bride's dress was beautiful. She was beautiful. The whole thing was just beautiful. There were a lot of tears involved with multiple people. It was a really, really beautiful experience and a really great thing to be a part of. And we partied, we ate some more amazing Creole and Cajun food, and we just all around had a really great time that night. So now we get to the interesting part of the story. Not to say that the wedding wasn't interesting, because the wedding was beautiful and amazing and gorgeous. And of course, a great time, as I've said like 30 times already. The next day, like, people were already heading home because the wedding was over and there was nothing else really to do. So Tyler and I decide that we're gonna go down to New Orleans. As you get closer down to the coast in Louisiana, the roads get even worse because, well, as we all know, back when Hurricane Katrina hit, New Orleans basically sank underwater. And, yeah, the roads are still, they're sinking into the ground. The roads are just terrible. My car is very close to the ground. It's already a short car, but the person who owned the car before me had the car lowered. So it's like that far off the ground. And if you're wondering why we took my car, Tyler's car is not exactly travel ready. It has really bad death wobble, and I wouldn't want to be dealing with that going all the way down to Louisiana. We probably would have had a wreck at some point, and that's no good. So my car is good for traveling. It's just not good for traveling on roads that are literally falling into themselves. We're going down to New Orleans, and we hit a few bumps that sounded like something crumbled underneath my car. And I was really worried and like, oh my god, what's happening? What's going on? That didn't sound good. And we're looking behind us and nothing's leaking. Everything looks okay. And we get to where we're going. We went to the French market. We parked over there near the French market. We walked around. We got a po' boy and some gator on a stick. It was actually really delicious though. And yeah, we kind of just walked around for about an hour and a half, something like that. And got to see New Orleans, at least part of the French Quarter anyway. And we get back to my car, and there's just a river of oil dripping from my car and going all over the parking lot. And I was thankfully very calm in that moment. However, once I called my insurance to get someone to come out and tow me, I was less than calm at that point because there was just a lot of hassle going on with it. First of all, it was a Sunday, so it wasn't very ideal for a lot of reasons because a lot of mechanics close early and a lot of mechanics weren't even open for that matter, so finding a mechanic to go to was difficult in and of itself. Then, speaking with the insurance agent was just not fun. There was just so much of a hassle with it because first they couldn't even find me in the system, and then they were saying that like my address and my mom's address were in a different state from where we live, and I was like, no, it's not that. And then they were like, oh, well, you've been removed from the insurance. And I'm like, no, I haven't. I've been on your insurance for years. Why have I been removed? And so I had to call my mom. I was in tears at this point because I was like, we're not going to get home. We're not going to get my car fixed. Like, everything's just not going as planned by any means. And so, talking to my mom, she was mad because she wasn't mad at me or at Tyler or anything, but she was just mad because how did they take me off? Like, why would they have taken me off of the insurance? So she's like, you know what, hold on, like, let me call them, let me get this sorted out. Like, she was like, okay, you're added back on, you're good. I called them back, got someone to come out and tow me, and we got to the place and they were like, okay, well, because your car is special, you have to wait until tomorrow for us to call in and figure out what kind of oil pan you need and for us to order the oil pan. So we had to spend $100 staying in a hotel for that night in New Orleans. But, I mean, in all fairness, it was actually worth it to spend a little extra time there. It was just really inconvenient because we weren't expecting to have to spend that money. So, the next day, we get a lift over to the mechanic. And while we're there, they're like, yeah, we got it in early. They're working on it right now. They're gonna get it in, and you guys should probably be out by like 2 or 3 p.m. Fantastic news, great. Then they tell us, you know, we ordered the wrong part, and we're not gonna be able to get it until tomorrow. So we have to spend another $100 staying, and we got to walk around more of like the fancy part of New Orleans and spend a little extra time there, and you know, that much was nice, but it was just not convenient by any means. Next day, whenever it comes to checkout time, we leave and we go to the mechanic shop again for the 3rd day in a row. This time they ordered the correct part. They were getting it put on there. Everything's all Gucci. Then comes the price part, and also the part where they tell us, yeah, so the guy out there was having some issues getting your car to turn on. Your battery is low. See, I actually already knew that my battery was going bad before we went down there. However, it wasn't bad enough that it should have died while we were down there, but it did. So my battery is pretty expensive. That added more to the cost, and well, thankfully the guy was really nice about it, and he was like, hey, like, you guys are being really nice, and like, I like you guys, so I'm gonna see what I can do to bring the price down, which he did bring the price down pretty significantly, considering what all we had done. So it ended up being $719. Not great. Definitely not great. But in the end, we got the car fixed, we got out, we left, and we got back home at about 3:30 a.m. on Tuesday morning last week. I've been very busy ever since, trying to make up work for the time that I was supposed to be at work. Honestly, like, I like to think of it, even though it was very expensive, you know, another $1,000 later, you know, we ended up having a really good time, and we experienced some things that we wouldn't have experienced had we only stayed there for, you know, those 2 hours that first day. I'm just now realizing, I don't even think I mentioned the fact that the part of my car that had issues and that we had to have replaced other than the battery was the oil pan, which I know I mentioned. There was oil leaking everywhere when we came back to the car, and it was the oil pan that had cracked. The roads down there are just so terrible. Either way, I had some really good quality time out there with my boyfriend, and I got to spend some time with his family, getting to know them a little bit better, so that's my story for you guys. Thanks for tuning in to today's Get Ready With Me and Storytime. I was just messing around with my makeup, trying to see what I could come up with, and I really hate the lighting in here. It's not making it look good at all. Like, looking into my mirror, it looks pretty decent, and looking into the iPad looks terrible. If you would like for me to show you guys how I did this look and what products I used to do it, leave a comment, let me know. I might do it anyway, I might not do it. We'll see. But thank you guys so much for watching, and leave a like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye!